Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into the absolute most talked about technology on the planet right now, artificial intelligence. We're going to cut straight through the hype, ignore the sci-fi tropes for a bit, and really figure out what AI actually is, how it works, and what it genuinely means for our future. So is AI coming for your job or just your tedious tasks? It's literally the question on everyone's mind right now. Is this tech a massive disruptive force coming to steal your livelihood? Or, is it just a tool that's going to take all those boring, repetitive tasks off your plate so you can finally focus on the good stuff? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we dig into the reality of all this. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. What exactly is AI? 2. The types of AI. 3. Today's AI tool landscape. 4. Will AI take your job? 5. The ethics of AI. And 6. Building responsible AI. Section 1. What exactly is AI? Demystifying the buzzwords. At its core, artificial intelligence is all about machines performing tasks that normally require human brainpower, usually by learning from the data they process. But here's the kind of surprising fact for you. This isn't a brand new concept at all. AI research actually kicked off way back in the 1940s and 50s. I mean, if you've ever watched one of those automated vacuum cleaners bump into your couch, congratulations, you've already welcomed basic AI into your living room. Now, drilling down a bit into the broader fields of AI, we hit machine learning. Think of this as a program that takes input data, trains a model with it, and then uses that model to make predictions on totally new, unseen data. Imagine you train a model based purely on Nike sales data. Once it's trained, you can actually feed that exact same model Adidas sales data, and it can predict how well a brand new shoe from Adidas might sell. It learns the underlying patterns, not just the specific numbers. That right there is why machine learning is so powerful. It adapts. Moving on to Section 2, the types of AI, from narrow to general. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how it breaks down the entire spectrum of AI capabilities. So AI exists on this massive spectrum. On one end, we have narrow AI. This is the stuff that's been around the longest. It's trained to do one very specific thing, like a banking tool scanning for patterns to flag fraudulent transactions. We interact with this kind of AI literally every single day. On the total opposite side is artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is the whole shebang, the idea that a computer could achieve general human intelligence and complete autonomy. But we have to remember, AGI is still very much theoretical at this point. Within the AI models we actually use today, there's another huge split, non-generative versus generative AI. And there is a brilliant, super simple rule of thumb to tell them apart. If the output of the model is a number, a classification, like spam or not spam, or a probability, you're looking at non-generative AI. But if the output is something brand new, like natural language text, speech, a totally newly drawn image or audio that mimics the data it was trained on, boom, that is generative AI. Section 3, today's AI tool landscape, the generative explosion. Let's look at the actual tools defining our world right now. The generative arsenal we have access to is just wild right now. We have foundational models covering almost every medium you can think of. Text-to-text models like ChatGPT and Google Bard handle natural language. You've got text-to-image tools like Midjourney, DALL-E, and Stable Diffusion that don't just generate images, they edit them too. We're seeing text-to-video tools like Sora and Google's Image and Video generating crazy dynamic footage. There's 11 Labs absolutely dominating text-to-speech, and even OpenAI's Shape-E models spinning up 3D gaming assets just from text prompts. The landscape has become incredibly specialized, and it's growing by the minute. Section 4. Will AI take your job? The 300 million question. All right, time to address the elephant in the room. 300 million. According to a massive report by Goldman Sachs, artificial intelligence could potentially replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs globally. I mean, that is just a jaw-dropping figure. The report notes it could replace a quarter of all work tasks across the US and Europe. So when people working in manually repetitive jobs say AI is a disruptive force, these are the exact statistics they're sweating over. But, the reality on the ground is so much more nuanced. As Nexford University points out, AI also promises a massive productivity boom. Yes, for sure, certain manual and administrative tasks are going to be automated, but this actually lets people focus on more creative, higher-level goals. Historically, with literally every disruptive technology, think about the personal computer. Certain roles do disappear, but entirely new vocations pop up to manage the tech and solve new problems. It's really about shifting job demand and learning how we adapt alongside the technology. Section 5. The ethics of AI, algorithmic bias and real dangers. Honestly, forget about the sci-fi killer robots for a second. The real urgent danger staring us in the face right now is algorithmic bias. Let's look at some documented real-world realities. Amazon actually had to scrap an AI hiring tool because the algorithm penalized female candidates. Why? Because it was trained on 10 years of mostly male resumes, so it just learned that biased pattern. Facial recognition systems from major tech giants have consistently shown significantly higher error rates for darker-skinned women. In healthcare, an AI-based pulse oximeter overestimated blood oxygen levels in patients with darker skin, which actively interfered with their hypoxia treatments. And in the justice system, the Compass program falsely flagged black defendants as high risk at almost twice the rate of white defendants. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Data collection is never neutral. It always tells a story. AI models are only ever as fair as the historical data they're fed. If an algorithm is trained on past human decisions that were flawed or prejudiced, the AI is simply going to learn those biases, automate them, and potentially amplify them on a massive scale. It is literally a mathematical reflection of our own societal history. Which brings us to Section 6, Building Responsible AI, Guardrails for the Future. To combat all these risks, organizations are scrambling to build rigorous ethical frameworks. IBM, for instance, relies on 5 pillars of responsible AI. Number 1 is explainability, meaning you have to actually know what went into an algorithm's recommendation. 2 is fairness, ensuring equitable treatment and countering those human biases we were just talking about. 3 is robustness, making absolutely sure the system is secure from adversarial attacks. 4 is transparency. Users have to understand exactly how a service works and, importantly, what its limits are. And 5 is privacy, explicitly safeguarding user data. These guardrails are absolutely essential if we want to preserve any trust in our digital ecosystems. Wow, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, right? From the basic nuts and bolts of machine learning to the incredibly complex ethical guardrails we need to keep it all in check. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. As AI continues to automate the tedious and routine parts of our world, what uniquely human skills are you going to adapt and cultivate to thrive in this new landscape? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.